Today we will be talking about 16 mistakes that you can do in The Witcher 3. Don't do them and stay tuned. What's up guys, my name is Franky Boy and on this channel you will get everything about open world RPGs like The Witcher, Hogwarts Legacy or Assassin's Creed. Stay tuned and welcome to the channel if you're new here. I'm a Witcher veteran. I started back in 2015 but I really got into it in 2017 and from that point I've gained many hundred hours of playtime in the game and I still love the game and I think it's the perfect match for me. So let's talk about some mistakes that you might be doing or some tips that you could get to improve your time in The Witcher. And I'm really curious what your thoughts on this are. So let's dive right into point number one. Mistake number one is don't kill the cows, because when you do so, you can just see what happens. The Chord spawns in White Orchard and he's so tanky, he's so great and also so dangerous, so keep that in mind when you spawn him. That's maybe a tough fight for you. I do tons of damage and you can find the build on my channel. I did like a video on 100k with one slash, so you can maybe one hit him when you do it right. Check out the video if you want to do that, but killing cows makes the cow boss spawn and it's kind of a cheesy cheat to get money in The Witcher 3. So be careful, because every time you come back to this place, this guy will spawn and it might ruin your experience if you don't like that. So that's the cow boss, I guess. Mistake number two is remaining on the path. In The Witcher 3, well, it's an open world RPG, it's all about exploring the world. So you don't want to just stick to the path, but explore the areas around it. You might find some hidden treasure, a new quest, a new part of a set, because you can actually start treasure hunts by just finding something that's a part of it. And so exploring the world is always rewarded at some point. You might find nothing but be teleported back and in other cases you will take profit out of it. So don't stick too much to the path and look around. Always keep an eye around in the bushes. It might be dangerous, but maybe worth the try. Mistake number three, go to high level areas. You might have a hard time when you're in high level areas for the first time and you get crushed by those enemies. They sometimes are really tough and will deal a ton of damage. As you can see, this golem, he's quite a tricky guy and trying to kill me, that might be like a very tricky fight for you at first. So you wanna stay to your areas, like especially this area in the north of the map. It's the Hearts of Stone DLC area and you kind of want to dodge it when you're low level. Well, I've had playthroughs where I was like level 5 and I could beat level 30 enemies. That's totally possible, but will last a long time, and those fights, they take quite up your your personal stamina, I guess. And this is just so awesome. I deal so much damage with this build. I love it. Like, that's perfect for like a golem. I didn't even yet loot this one. So, as you can see, remaining on the path, it's quite nice to not do that. So, number four, a mistake you could do is mixing the colors in this skill tree. As you can see, you have the mutagens and, well, some are for attack power, some are for life, and some are for sign power, but sticking these together will increase the mutagens. As you can see, I have like 3 in here. I only have 45% attack power, and with this one 60%. So try to match that. That's kind of a mistake a beginner would do, so maybe you don't do it now. Mistake number 5 that I truly did back then when I started with The Witcher 3 is leaving loot behind. Because I thought, well, I don't have that much inventory space. Well, I got a mod and this is called over 9000. It increases my inventory to over 9000 obviously, and I made a mod video about it, so just check that out if you want to know more about my mods. In this case, you don't have that when you start with The Witcher or you're playing on console. You can't use mods in this case, but you don't need to worry about the inventory management anyways, because there are some ways to store your stuff. And number one is, of course, You get it? The stash. There are multiple places for stashes in the world, like here in Cross Perch, you have one in White Orchard, in Novigrad, everywhere in the world. You can use that and search for that. They are map wide and you can access them everywhere where a stash is. Of course, the inventory is shared and you can just pump it with all your stuff that you don't need. And if you have the time, take your time and go sell it. And where do you sell it? At the fitting vendors. So you want to sell the stuff you have at the fitting vendor. Of course, you go to a forge, to a blacksmith when you have like armor to sell, and you go to a tavern guy when you have some food or some leather that you found from the cows. So obviously that could be a mistake. Mistake number 6 that I did quite a few times when I started with Witcher was underestimate the bestiary, because it gives you all the information you need. This is like the perfect thing. You have to study it as a Witcher. Well, when I started with the Witcher, I wasn't motivated to go into it. Like check, okay, this sign is needed, that particular oil and this bomb will help me. It's quite a journey through this one, but you have to get into it to know what to do, because you will quickly learn which kinds of enemies are vulnerable to which kind of oil, decoction, potion, sign, etc. And then you will just know like, okay, there's something flying, I will use art. Okay, there's a big guy crushing me, maybe one hitting me, I will use Quen. So just study it when you start out with the game, and even when you're not starting out, you should sometimes take a look into it. Maybe you did some mistakes. So one of the biggest mistakes I was not using Erden against ghosts. So that's like crappy crap. Number 7, forgetting to meditate. That's a huge mistake, because as you can see, I'm purely intoxicated. And also I don't have any thunderbolt with me and no bombs. So let's start and meditate. You could meditate for 1 hour. I will meditate some more hours to let the day start and make it a little brighter for you, so that looks nicer. And as you can see, alcohol was consumed. You gotta have alcohol in your inventory all the time to make sure that everything fills up. But I'm not poisoned anymore, and also my potions have been filled up. If you use decoctions, you have to use them again now. So that's kind of, I don't know. I don't know why this workflow is in there. It's a bit annoying. But when you get into it and you know all your icons, you will get into it, and be quick about it. Just meditate all the time and fresh up before fights, because then you have all the gear you need, and a Witcher is always well prepared for a tough fight. That's kind of the Witcher vibe that it should give you. The game wants you to prepare for fights, and that's just the way Geralt would do it, as we also saw like in the books, or maybe even in the Netflix series if you watch that. Mistake number 8, forgetting to dismantle. Dismantling can grant you a lot of materials for crafting, but it could also make you rich. In some cases, you want to check out these mussels that you found at the beach, and you might get a pearl out of it. So try to dismantle things and you will even get richer, and also you can dismantle all the stuff you don't need. You might as well sell it if it's crappy crap that's coming out of the crap. But in some cases you get like some nice stuff you could use. Maybe ruby or an emerald is used for crafting. Silver is always nice. And some things you should not dismantle, to be honest, because they are awesome and like things you can't get again in the game without cheating. So yeah, don't dismantle the night lamp. It's too great to be dismantled. But in some cases, players forget about this feature. I think there's always a fitting tool for the job. And a big mistake I made in the beginning was using the wrong items, using the wrong skills for the job. So you need to be very certain about your builds. Pick the build you want and that complements your playstyle, but also complements your job. When you're in a tough boss fight that you like can't get through and you think, oh wow, this is too hard, I might even decrease my difficulty, then you can choose not to do so and increase your sustainability and everything with the right build. So just make sure to complement that. Go through your inventory. When you start out, you don't have that much of a gear as I have. I have a very nice collection with gear for every kind of job, but try to build that and be flexible about it. And you don't have these inventory mods, just make sure to go to your stash and do that there, do the preparation, and it can feel very nice to prepare for a job and then do it, and then success, and then go switch it up again for a casual playstyle, and then for a certain scenario you respec again to a Igni build or so. It's very nice. Well, another big mistake could be to go through cross purge. No, just joking. The next point is number 10, forget to use Quen pre-fight. Always prepare with Quen. It's like the most important thing, because pre-fight you get the stamina regeneration for free, and then you start with 100% stamina and Quen into the fight, and that's an advantage you want to make use of. You could also use your potions pre-fight and get another advantage this way, but anyways, you should always use Quen beforehand, so you just don't get one hit in any case. You never know what enemy types are there. There maybe some are hidden, and there might be even a boss spawning that could crush you and one hit you. So you want to avoid that by using Quen all the time before a fight, and it's very nice when you don't know the game by heart yet. So it's just more for beginners. Mistake number 11, forget Gormi. Well, I didn't skill it yet because I'm actually level 100, but it should be your skill perk number 1. When starting out in a new game, this is a must-have, especially on Deathmarch, because it regenerates vitality for 20 minutes. It has been nerfed in the next gen update, sadly, because food has been nerfed. It has an increased duration, but the vitality regeneration has been decreased. Anyways, you still have to get some kind of vitality regeneration on Deathmarch difficulty, and you need this. Kind of need this all the time, so this is perk number 1. You could also increase your vitality regeneration by sun and stars, so you get like 15 out of Gourmet for 20 minutes, and when it's daytime you get 10 out of sun and stars, and you have 25. But that's 2 general slots used. Might not want to do that, and at night you could use the stamina regen. It's not one of the best talents, but Gourmet is always a must-have, especially for new players. You can use the food and it will last for 20 minutes. Free food for 1 hour. You just go like killing some cows, which you might not want to do. I told you what will happen, but anyways, you get enough food for a playthrough when you farm that, and then you can like stay full health all the time, because as you can see, my health doesn't regenerate in this case, and I could use food or I could use like a swallow. It's also a possibility. Man, I love this saddle. It's so awesome. It's from the Hearts of Stone DLC, and it's like the best saddle in the game. You have to kind of choose it to get it and be certain about it and focused. But yeah, that's like the strongest saddle, the only saddle that has a nice effect on it. I love it. Just get it. Can't recommend it enough. Oh, and by the way, just a quick tip. If you use the sprint button or the gallop button on your horse, then it won't consume stamina if you don't use like your controls. So you can just do the gallop and it will do so for free. You see no stamina consumption, just holding the button. It's so awesome, but Roach will sadly use its own way, choose his own way and go wherever it wants to go. But stamina free is quite nice. So the real next tip was do the speed leveling. Well, that might be a mistake. Mistake number 12. Speed leveling is one of the things I personally love, but most of the guys out there don't really love it, I guess, because you want to enjoy the story, gonna go through it and enjoy it with every of your cells. In some cases, players like me who like Diablo games, grindy games, they prefer to grind at a spot, and I totally love that and optimize everything about that and be quick about it and be perfect about the run. That's what I love, and also be perfect about the builds, but in some cases that might be not what you want to do. So speed leveling can take out some of the fun. Be smart about your leveling in this case, because then you can enjoy the journey. The journey is enjoyed by the journal, of course, by the quest journal, and main quests grant the most XP. Secondary quests the second most, Witcher contracts the third most, and fourth most treasure hunts. That's like already sorted out by the game for you, so you don't have to think about the order order of XP gain. But make sure to always use the quests that are on your level. Yeah, do them first, because later on they will grant you almost no experience, and that's sad. You could reach level 100 anyways, so don't worry too much. But yeah, you might be perfect about it and do everything at a certain level range that fits your current area you're in. And while we were in the journal, well, one of the mistakes is not to chase the Witcher sets at the right time. You should always chase the next one, and it's found in the treasure hunts. Well, every Witcher set is a treasure hunt. You might want to think, yeah, it's a green set, it's the Witcher contract. It's not. Do the treasure hunts and get these sets as quick as possible. You should get the first one quite right away when you're in Velen. It's the Griffin set. The first one is the Griffin armor. It's quite an awesome set. And you can also now get, of course, the Forgotten Wolfen armor. That's a new addition that the next gen update got, and you could do it here at the Devil's Pit. There's a guy with a quest line. Just do it and then you get this set. It's quite a nice boost. I think the level requirement is level 15 or so, and to wear the set you need to be level 18 or 20. I don't know, because I just got it in New Game Plus. I love my New Game Plus file and I don't want to leave it, of course. And as you can see, we are surrounded by enemies, by wild dogs and some bandits. And yeah, mistake number 15 is underestimate the power of the many. They can quickly charge you, they can surround you, and you are in the trap. So that's like one of the shittiest situations you could find yourself in, crowded by some bandits or some wolves, maybe some Nekkers. They will beat you in the back and then you will die. So don't underestimate that. Pick the right tools for these jobs, and it might even be Irden, so you can slow them, or a northern wind, so you can freeze all these guys and use that. So be smart about what you use, and when you're surrounded, maybe you want to use Roach anyways to get away. And in any case, you didn't know it, Roach combat is increased damage, so that's quite nice. So you can try to hit enemies with Roach, and you might be in a situation where you one-hit enemies then. Kind of funny, I guess. Mistake number 16, so let this guy get down, is forget to parry. So as you can see, he just hit me and I could use my backstep or my retreat, but what you want to do is parry in the right moment, then he's stunned, and then you can kill him. This is like the most awesome way to kill one foe, because in no other situation he will be like surprised. It's also perfect for fist fights. You want to do like the parry, yeah, you click when he hits, clack. You see it, there's a parry window that is kind of marked on the enemy. Just make sure to look at the bandit, and you can see under his brown stamina bar, there you can see this little red bar. And when the red bar is flashing, then you just hit like the button, yeah, but don't talk at the same time, because otherwise you might die, like I am almost dying. That was like really nice that I didn't die. I think this was because of my build and consumed the stamina, the adrenaline points, I guess. Yeah, it was. Undying is skilled, so it might have been that, or it was just like almost a kill. In any ways, you should use the parry button. It's in many situations better than like using the normal dash away. You can't like do 100% damage reduction with that one, with the fleet-footed. It's also awesome. Dodging is perfect for many situations, especially against monsters. I think parrying for humans and dodging for monsters. Also, you should make sure to parry the swordsman, the shieldmen, yeah, because otherwise you would have to stun them with Axi or maybe freeze them. That's another technique you could use, but parrying is just, it feels so natural and nice, and it's just awesome and rewarding when you do it at the right time, because it's a little bit more challenging than just pressing Quen and then Axi, I guess. Alright, these were my 16 tips or my 16 don'ts for you. I hope you learned something out of it. If you are new to The Witcher, or maybe you were a little bit entertained, hope so. Feel free to check out my channel, my other videos on build guides, on best mods, etc. Stay up to date on this channel around everything regarding The Witcher, and also check out my song, which is in the end card. It's called Hot with Igni, but it's a German song. Alright, see you in the next one. Goodbye.